G'day, Keithy here. Thanks for joining me again. So we're just back home now from a good trip away, a couple of days away we spent. Took the old camper trailer. It's a new addition, you'll see a little bit more about that soon. Just doing the post-trip clean-up now, so I've given this old girl a hose off, being canvas, and we got rained on while we were there. Yeah, it's a good idea if you've got a bit of sunlight like we do when you get home to give the old girl a clean off, get any bug poo and rain and whatever, and let him dry for a little bit. So that's exactly what we've done here. She's looking good, she's just drying out now. Still attached to the back of the old Rangy. Now I wanted to show you this. It probably doesn't look like it right now because it rained we drove for about 4 hours to get to where we camped. And we had a bit of a good time, as you're about to see. It doesn't look real dirty. But I tell you what, she was fairly muddy after the drive that we just went on. It was a good weekend away with the Forward Drive Club, so that's always fun. Everyone had a good time and laughter and all that kind of cool stuff that comes along with it. And now if you live in Queensland, it's sort of at that time of year where it's really good to start getting out. So stick around, we'll show you what we got up to. We went down the state forest and had a bit of fun down there. Don't forget too, the usual story. We've got Chilling with Keithy on Facebook up the top there. You can get on there, see what I'm doing in between all of these videos when I go on trips and things like that. I've posted a few things up lately. And also if you go down the bottom here, you're going to see the Instagram, Keithy_wager. You can go there and catch up with me there. See what I'm doing as well. I'm getting a little bit technologically advanced now. I'm getting on Instagram as well. So there we go. Don't forget, thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new here and you want to see more of this kind of stuff, hook in, give us a subscribe. Really appreciate your support.
So for this trip we left Townsville and headed due south through Bowen, Proserpine, and eventually we ended up at Midge Point Caravan Park. First time we've ever stayed here, and it was a fantastic little place. Do not get me wrong. We attached the camper trailer for this trip for something a little bit different to the old Oz tent camp we used to, and I tell you what, it certainly didn't disappoint. We'll see more about that in an upcoming video. The campground at Midge Point certainly didn't disappoint either. It's a lovely view, beautiful, well-kept campgrounds. Can't say a bad thing about it. So the next day we headed off up into the Kathu State Forest, which is right next door to the Mccarteney State Forest, funny enough. We were searching for a waterhole that we'd been told about on the tracks up here. Now there's only two tracks you can take. You can head up and take the left-hand bend to the lookout, or you can continue sort of bearing right, and eventually it takes you to this waterhole, the falls that we'd heard about. So we were eager to get up there, and we left reasonably early in the morning in order to make good time and hopefully get up there for lunch. So the track got worse as we got through unexpectedly, but it was a very big wet season in North Queensland this year, so it was to be. The road wasn't as good as what it could have been, that's for sure, and in hindsight we should have let our tyres down a lot earlier than what we did. Nonetheless, we took in the views along the way, and we also had a little bit of forward riding, which you're about to see now. So it was at this point on the drive where we decided we were going to leave the two standard forward drives behind because the track started to get fairly eroded, washed out, and it was becoming too much for both of those vehicles. So they jumped on board with us and we continued on. We left two of the vehicles up there and continued on. It was only about another 1.5 kilometres of this kind of track before we got to the waterhole, which was fantastic driving. As you can see the Range Rover there eating it right up. I'll let you have a bit of a listen for yourself and take it all in.
Great driving right there. Straighten him up.
So despite what you saw there just then, that track was actually really steep. It was alarmingly steep, and with the clouds coming over as they were at the time, we thought it was best that we'd get out of there before the weather turned on us. And funny enough, about 7 kilometres down the track, you wouldn't believe it, but it was blue skies. Anyway, we got out of there safe and sound, albeit I had a little slip and had to improvise my line on the way. Lynn made it look very easy in the FJ Cruiser. That's an amazing machine, that. After we got out of there, we decided we were going to head off and have a bit more of a look around the Bloomsbury area. So there was a couple of tracks that I'd seen that were supposed to have met up with the state forest. So I thought we'd try that. We'd go for a bit of explore and see if we could find them. Turns out they'd fenced off the road at the other end, so that was a no deal. But I tell you what, some beautiful scenery on the way through there. And if you're ever down near Midge Point or in the Proserpine area, I'd definitely recommend going down here and having a bit of a look. There's plenty of places to stay down here, be it at the Midge Point Caravan Park that we stayed at, or you could also stay at the Hollywood Flats campground or even Proserpine if you really wanted to. So on the way home we decided we were going to have a little bit of a fish, and we found an awesome four-wheel drive track, as you can see by the dirty Range Rover there. And we ended up going down through this little cliff face in front of us here and having a little bit of a fish on our way back to the campground. All in all, it was a lovely weekend. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.